Double Jeopardy.
Where's my son?
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about the new Paramount Presents Double Jeopardy on 4K. But before we do that, if you guys are into movie reviews, 4K reviews, some tech, and some video game stuff along the way, then please consider subscribing because we do all that here. So in 1999, I'm going to butcher this name, it's a bit tough, Bruce Beresford, I believe is how you pronounce it, made a little movie called Double Jeopardy, starring Tommy Lee Jones and Ashley Judd. They are the main characters in this movie, and you know, when I was a kid, I remember when this movie came out, and you know, I was young. In '99, I was 10 years old, so I think this was a little bit out of my wheelhouse, and this was like an adult movie, and I just never revisited it over the years. And I kind of regret it. Well, maybe not, because I enjoyed watching it for the first time tonight. But, you know, this was a really cool movie. I really enjoyed it. I saw a trailer, and that was about it, so there wasn't too many spoilers in the trailer. So I had a pretty good time watching this, you know. I enjoy a good crime, mystery, thriller, which is what I think I would label, maybe not well, you know, the guy's committing a crime, a felony. But it's more of like a mystery thriller type deal. And, you know, it's a pretty fun ride. And, you know, it's got its ups and downs. And it's basically this woman who is just living her life. You know, she's happily married, seems to be very in love with her husband. She loves their child, Maddie, who is maybe 2 years old at the time. We're going to talk spoilers, by the way. I mean, it's an old movie, 99. So, turns out her husband, big piece of shit, decides that he needed to make a quick buck. I guess his, whatever, they lived in a giant, beautiful home, lakefront property. He's buying boats and, you know, so, you know, maybe he had a little bit more money than most of us, but I guess he didn't want to lose it. I guess staging his own murder and framing his wife was worth the paycheck that he was going to get, because I believe they said it was like $2 million or something like that was the life insurance policy. So she ends up serving the time in jail, but just so happens one of the inmates was a lawyer at some point and taught her a little thing called Double Jeopardy. So basically, she was able to get out of prison after she was done serving her time, and she can go shoot him in the face in the middle of Times Square with a million witnesses, and that is a-okay because she was already charged for that crime, and they cannot charge her for the same crime twice. I don't know how much truth there is behind that, but you know, it was a fun aspect of the movie, and you know, it really played its part, and I really enjoyed it. So Double Jeopardy, basically we're hanging out with Ashley Judd's character, Libby, the entire time. This is her story. So we see her serve, I think it was about 6 years she served in the prison, and then she gets put on parole, and she has 3 years to live in some sort of, I guess, parole house where Tommy Lee Jones ends up being her parole officer. And he's a bit of a hard ass, you know, he's got this house full of, I think they're all women parolees, and, you know, he's the parole officer, he keeps them all in line, and if they fuck up, he sends them right back. And she is determined to find her son. Now, she's been in contact with the person that she left her son in custody with, and last phone call they had, she kind of found out that her husband was still alive, and they've been lying to her, and now they're hiding from her. And now she is just a switch flipped in her head, and this is all she wants to do. I mean, I get it, you know, you got wrongfully accused, you did 6 years in prison, and you're completely innocent. It's pretty crazy how well she actually took this, actually. You know, because she was pretty calm and collective, and, you know, I don't know what I would have done if this happened to me. I'm just glad this didn't happen to me. So now she is searching for all these new identities because he's changed his name. I don't know if it was a housekeeper or just a very close friend of theirs. It was the babysitter that ended up adopting her son once she got charged with the murder and put in prison. So because you know, the babysitter was a close friend of theirs, and she asked her to take custody of her son, Maddie.
I'd like you to adopt my son. Money won't be a problem.
It isn't about money.
So now she changed her name and her husband changed his name, so she's trying to track them down. She tracks them down in a couple other states, and she's just right behind them. She can't quite catch up to them, and she finally catches them in New Orleans. He's got a new name, he owns hotels, and he's just some sort of big shot out there. But now Tommy Lee Jones is tracking her down at the same time, so she's trying to run away from her parole officer and hide out and not get caught by Tommy Lee Jones, while also trying to track down her ex-husband. So it's, you know, she's a very smart woman, and you know, for an average housewife, she did pretty good. You know, I mean, I don't know if I would have made it that far. I wouldn't have been able to check all these records she was doing. I wouldn't have thought of half of this stuff. But some pretty smart moves she made, like. She found out the name, and she went to a BMW dealer to pretend to buy a card. So she got the social security number from some sort of records office, and she had them run the social security number to check the credit. So it comes back, and she got the address from there, and that's how she basically tracked them down. And then there was an explosion there. So this is the second woman. This is the second woman that her ex-husband is killed, just I guess for a payout or something like that, or maybe he was just done with her. I'm not entirely sure. They didn't really touch on that, but she didn't show up again, so I think she really was dead. So she gets some quick information from the neighbor next door, and she's on her way to the next state, and she finally tracks him down. They're at some party in New Orleans where they're bidding for bachelors up on stage, and she wins the auction, and he looks like he sees a ghost when she walks on stage to claim her prize. And this is where things start getting real good. Now Tommy Lee Jones is starting to catch on to the guy. He goes into the office, 'cause he actually, the husband actually says that he didn't see this woman when Tommy Lee Jones shows her the picture, because he's still tracking her down at this time, and he's covering for her because I guess he doesn't want to get caught in the crossfire if she does get caught, or she'll rat him out. So he covers for her, and Tommy Lee Jones sees goes to the husband's office and sees the artwork, and that just something in his mind clicked, because she was in an art gallery looking for something earlier in the movie. I'm not entirely sure what the reasoning behind that making sense to him was. Right from there, you know, you saw it in Tommy Lee Jones' eyes, like he's like, I got you, I know you're lying. He starts doing a lot of research on his own. He's getting printouts of licenses from all the previous names that she's given him, and you know, he found him, and now he's got him, and he finally tracks down Ashley Judd's character, Libby, and he's like, look, I believe you, let's get this guy. And you know, that's pretty much how the movie ends. And then they finally get in a little altercation at the end in the office. She ends up killing the ex-husband. Piece of shit, you know, he deserved it. They wanted to put him in jail and have him suffer because they were going to charge him with murder, but they ended up killing him, which I think is a better resolution. I don't think that fuck deserved to live anyway, because, you know, putting this loving mother in prison and all this bullshit just for a payday, come on, you're not the best of people. Tommy Lee Jones takes a bullet in the end, but he doesn't die, you know, he's just wounded. And basically right at the end of the movie, he drives her on the way, I guess, to get a full pardon, because he, you know, that's the parole officer. I guess he has the power to do that, but he was able to prove that she was innocent, and she finally is reunited with her son, and they couldn't be happier. And it just kind of fades to black from there. So it does have a happy ending, you know, but it's just a pretty crazy turn of events that this woman went through. And a pretty cool movie, especially if you haven't seen it for the first time. It's pretty fun to put all the pieces together as the movie's going. I thought it was going to be a little bit more on the mystery side, where this is more of a thriller, which is fine because I enjoy thrillers. You know, there's a lot of chase scenes and a lot of like hiding and stuff like that. So I would put this as like a mystery crime thriller. Not generally in my wheelhouse, but I did enjoy this movie. I had a great time with it, and I will definitely check it out again. And I'm glad next time I check it out that it's going to be with this Paramount 4K release. So jumping right into this 4K release, this is actually my first Paramount Presents release. I've I never had any of the Blu-rays, and this is my first 4K from them. Well, as far in this Paramount Presents line, and you know, it's, I guess Paramount's like premium take on a boutique label type release, because it is, you know, it's very nice. You know, you open it up, and I believe that's the original artwork, the original theatrical posters right there, and that's pretty cool how it opens up like that. And then you have just some basic artwork with Tommy Lee Jones and Ashley Judd. There's the boat that the murder was framed on. And it's got like this metallic look to it, but the front seems to be a bit of a fingerprint magnet. You know, it's not the end of the world for me, but just want to note that. So once we pop open that slip cover, you have that Paramount Presents clear Blu-ray case, which I do like. Also, you know, it kind of sets the other ones apart, because mainly we get blue or black these days. And then once you pop it open, we have disc art. And, you know, we're a fan of the disc art here. Open up the disc, or take the discs out, I should say, and there is some more artwork underneath the discs, which is a lot of fun. I like that when it's not just plain white or black or whatever it is, but it's pretty cool to have some disc art. Looking at the discs, we have our 4K release right here, which is just the feature film, and then on the Blu-ray disc, we have the feature film again on Blu-ray, plus our special features. If you're here for the special features, I think you're going to be a little underwhelmed, as there's not much. There's a new filmmaker focus with director Bruce Beresford, however you say that, an alternate ending with unfinished audio, and the making of Double Jeopardy. Now, the making of Double Jeopardy, that could be pretty cool to check out if you are a huge fan of Double Jeopardy. Also, it did come with a digital copy, which I had removed, and we will be giving away in our digital code giveaway we do every Friday. So right off the bat, opening scenes of the movie, 4K presentation. We have Dolby Vision, and it looks really, really good. Now, I also want to say, this is also sort of a scene-by-scene quality changes. So most scenes, I think, looked really, really good, like it was shot yesterday. And there's a few scenes where it just looks a little soft, I guess would be my best way to describe it, where the picture's not the sharpest. I mean, it doesn't take you out of it. I don't think it is the worst thing in the world, but there was just some scenes that looked a little different than the rest. I'm not sure the reasoning behind that. Maybe it was just the lighting. I'm not entirely sure. But again, most people would not even notice it. I just found that there was a handful of scenes that weren't quite as sharp as the rest, where the rest of the scenes I thought looked incredible. I think they did a fantastic job with this 4K, and that Dolby Vision, again, Dolby Vision, we love Dolby Vision here. You know, it makes the skin tones look lifelike. It makes it look real. It makes it look like they're in your TV. It brings out all the vibrant colors. Like there's some, mainly, I think the most colorful scenes in this movie were probably when they were in New Orleans. You know, there was a lot of different color umbrellas out in the street during like this rainstorm at night. Again, it's dark out and these colors are just really popping. And then there was they were at some party or a ball, and you know, there's a lot of foliage, but there was like very colorful flowers in the gardens and stuff, and it looked really, really nice. And you know, we can really give all the credit to the Dolby Vision there, because that's what Dolby Vision does, that high dynamic range HDR. It really brings all these colors out, and it makes just the contrast between the darks and the colors look really good. I think they did a fantastic job with the restoration on this film. Now, when I say restoration, you know, it's 99, so you know, it's just a new scan. I can't imagine the source material was in rough shape, you know, because it's not that old of a movie. But overall, I think visual quality, I would give this a 4 out of 5. I think it looked really, really good, with the exception of a handful of scenes that looked just a little soft. I wouldn't go as far to say blown out, but I would just say there were some scenes that just looked, you know, like they needed another little twist of the lens just to get it completely in focus and sharpen it up a hair. But overall, I thought it looked really, really good. I was quite impressed with it. As far as audio goes, this has a Dolby 5.1 True HD audio track. And You know, I was a little upset in the beginning. I was like, you know, it would have been nice to have the Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos combo, as I wish on all discs had. That's generally my first complaint. But, you know, I think it sounded pretty good. There was some scenes where it sounded, you know, not the most clear. You know, I think it could have benefited from a proper Atmos track. I think the 5.1 here still sounded good. There was a lot of bass to it. There was a lot of stuff coming out of my rear speakers. I think they made pretty good use of all the speakers. You know, the front channels were screaming in my face. The subwoofer was bumping. The rears were talking to me. A proper Atmos track would have been nicer to clean it up and just make it that much better. But again, I still think it had a great 5.1 audio track. So overall, visual and audio quality, I think Paramount did a fantastic job here. I think this is definitely the best this film has ever looked and ever sounded. Although the same track was on the previous Blu-ray, or the previous Paramount Presents Blu-ray at least. There was really nothing wrong with the audio track. It sounded fine. It's perfectly passable. And there's really no issues with it. Again, I would have loved an Atmos track, where I just wish every movie would have a proper Atmos track, or even a DTS:X track would have been nice. So overall, visual quality, audio quality, packaging, I'm gonna have to go ahead and give this release an 8 out of 10. I think Paramount really knocked it out of the park, as they've been doing lately. You know, I'm starting to really enjoy Paramount's releases. I think they put out some really nice discs. And this is no exception, and especially these Paramount Present line. Again, this is my first Paramount Presents, but I think I'm going to continue to look at those and maybe see what else I've missed so far, because I really like the packaging here. I like the little flip out here with the original theatrical poster. And just, you know, I like something extra. I like the stuff inside when you open it up and you have all the artwork in there. As a collector, you know, little things like that, those are bonus points for us. But if you guys want to add this to your collection, we will put a Amazon affiliate link down in the description below. Buying from that link is no extra cost to you, but helps out the channel, and we do appreciate it. But if you guys liked this video and you thought this review was helpful, please consider giving it a like and consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. But until next time, guys, have a great day.